Morning everyone. Right, time to head back to Fully Charged Live. A little bit later than I planned. Well, I had a lie-in. Right, okay. Bit toasty in here. I'm very, very happy that the weather is a bit brighter because it was a little bit cold and grim and dark yesterday. That's not good. I did wonder if this supercharger might be a bit too busy because it is the closest one to Silverstone. Now I've registered my car and it looks like there is actually a free supercharger now, but I think somebody else is ahead of me in the queue. No, they're not. Was gonna just not bother, supercharge afterwards, but looks like now I can supercharge straight away. That is one of the things about superchargers which I do feel is somewhat lost on the other car manufacturers. If you have lots and lots of bays, you don't have to wait very long. I went in, I put my number plate into the little screeny thing. There's 6 bays. They charge an average for about 40-50 minutes, which means the chances are one of them will have left by the time I come back outside, which is exactly what happened. In fact, 3 of them have left, which hopefully means I'll get a decent charge rate and I can actually go to this show some point soon. That's a pretty reasonable charge rate, I can live with that. I think I've got enough power now to get all the way there and all the way home without having to charge again. I guess this is where the Tesla taxis come to recharge themselves. Nice wheels. Oh!
Hello, mate.
Malcolm!
How you doing?
You know, I was looking at your wheels. I literally just said into the camera, nice wheels.
Your wheels.
How's it going?
It's good, mate.
Long time no see. How's the Tesla taxiing going?
Yeah, it's good. Have you been over there?
Yesterday I went with the family and that was great, but today I can concentrate. So that's basically what's going on, although I had a bit of a late start again because, you know, I probably haven't had enough coffee. Yeah, something like that probably.
Cool.
Anyway, I wouldn't hold you up getting plugged in.
Yes. Take a picture of my doing.
Ooh, yes.
A tractor did that.
A tractor. Ugh. Little country lane.
Little country lane. So I chased him down and got his insurance details, but the insurance is saying 50-50 because he's saying I was driving. I wasn't. I pulled over. Just, you know, one of them days you go a different way.
Yeah.
Your dash cam's not working. You know.
Well, I mean, it's only one panel.
It's not. It's,
is it not? Or is it in the door as well?
That there, and the bumper's got a bit of spade as well, and the wheels took a. If you look at the wheels, it took some paint off the wheels. So it's quite.
That's unbelievable.
£8,500.
That makes me feel a lot better about my deer incident. That cost about £9,000 to get fixed, but it looked much more serious than that. I mean, I didn't even notice that when you pulled in.
Yeah.
So,
well, I've painted it out so it sort of
you kind of
doesn't jump out at you, and I've sort of buffed off the scuffs.
You know what the worst bit is about having an accident in a Tesla? I mean, okay, the cost is not good, but the worst bit, in my opinion, is the fact that you lose the car.
Yeah. See, it was going in for some warranty work to a body shop.
Right.
So I phoned up that body shop. So it'll be repaired while it's having that bodywork done. Okay,
and that won't add to the length of time that they've got it?
I'm away in Austria for
That's
2 weeks.
Okay,
Perfect.
If it takes 2 weeks, you know how long it took to get my car sorted?
They've told me 2 weeks. How long?
3 months. Yeah, because the bonnet didn't turn up forever. Anyway, you been Tesla taxiing?
Yeah, all day.
That was cool. Haven't seen Malcolm for ages. Right, let's get cracking. Brilliant. It's like visiting the future. Don't know what I mean? Let me show you. Nissan Leaf, e-Niro, Tesla, Nissan Leaf. There's a Kona electric here. And somehow the whole world hasn't come to a grinding halt yet, despite all these electric vehicles in one place. I did feel very sorry for Malcolm with his tractor incident, because, well, it sucks having accidents. I'm definitely getting the impression that full surround vehicle dash cam technology should just be built into everything. I mean, I can see why it's less of a priority somewhere like America, where the roads are humongonormous. But around here, I have been on so many little country lanes and had tractors go by, and I've literally held my breath as they've just by millimeters missed the back of the car. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Malcolm was that lucky. And he came to a stop as well, which is something which I do. Basically, whenever there's something coming that I think, whoa, that's going to be tight, I just think, well, I'll bring it to a stop and they can take all the risk. Unfortunately, it seems like that strategy probably isn't quite as good as I was hoping. Specs now. It is a 50 kilowatt hour battery, 100 kilowatt motor, good for 0 to 60 in about 8.3 seconds, about 211 miles of range on the WLTP driving cycle, which basically translates to a really real world I don't care in the winter sort of range of probably 170, 180, maybe a little bit more. It looks good. You know, I think this looks like a nice car. I think it's going to sell very, very well, if they make enough of them. Now, I've been assured that they are planning on actually producing a decent number. They come off the same production line as the 208 diesel version, or they will do, but obviously they're not there yet. There's going to be a press release, I think, in September-ish time, and then they'll actually start delivering them in January. So if you order one now, you should get it in the first quarter of next year, but certainly before about August. I like the look.
GoPro that I had with nothing else.
Yeah, that was never going to last.
No, of course not. When I saw your kits on the table, I knew where to go.
Kits is one of the best things about vlogging.
I love a fun side. Really good.
I'm wondering why there's all these people here. They're just about to do a talk on the little electric mobility type stuff, so that's why we're all crowding around the 9 bots.
Trying to get near the famous people. Yeah.
They've stopped talking. So this seems like the perfect opportunity to say something before it all gets loud again. You were talking about those second-hand values, right?
Yeah.
So I sold my Nissan Leaf, my original from Japan first-gen Nissan Leaf, for 9,600 quid. It had 36,000 miles on the clock. And I remember saying, when I sold it, they will never get cheaper than this. You know? This is where it ends.
You're right.
Because any cheaper than that, and it's free. You know, I mean, like literally, if I could find a Nissan Leaf for £3 grand, I'd be like, okay, straight into the savings, I'll buy that, because then I've got an EV for going to and from the shops. You know, especially if you come from a petrol or a diesel, you know, then it's a total no-brainer, and that means that the bottom end, like not the top end, yeah, if you buy it a month later, it's worth half what it was. but then it just totally stops. And that seems to be what's the impression that other people are getting.
Yeah, my brother's getting a new car, and I've done all the stuff for him, of course, that's what happens. And I looked at used value 6 months ago for a video. The cheapest used Zoe was just over £5,000, battery leased, of course. The same car now, same age, but 6 months later, is now just over £6 grand. They've gone up in value. The Twizy down there that Jonathan Portfield's selling has gone up in value. I think he said £1,500 or £2,000 because he's selling it now. And he bought that 4 years ago. It's worth more now than it was 4 years ago. And I think you see that the supply and demand just doesn't equal by a massive margin.
Likewise, I did a video not so long ago. There's a guy that I spoke to. He's been keeping a log of what the value of his Nissan Leaf from the time he bought it second hand. And you can see over the last 18 months, 2 years, you see the value drop, and then just gradually it's been rising and rising and rising. And the value of it now is nearly back to what he paid for it 3 years ago. It's ridiculous. My 24 kilowatt hour Leaf, 50,000 miles on it, they're selling now for just short of £11,000.
So in other words, they've actually gone up in value since I sold mine.
Yeah.
I should have kept it. I knew I should have kept it.
Terrible investment bank.
Yeah.
My Leaf's the same. 18 months ago, so again I brought it down, it was worth 13,500, it's a 30 Leaf. 20 odd thousand miles later, and 18 months, it's still worth 13,500. It's a free car.
The 208 over there, right? It's coming off the same production line as the diesel version. So, you know, because I asked them, and they said, oh yes, it's coming off this, you know, are they going to be able to produce them in numbers? And they said, well, it's all coming off the same production line, so yeah. I said, you're going to be able to get hold of the batteries? They're like, yeah. So I'm not 100% sure. I'll believe that one when I see it, quite frankly, because honestly, I look at these cars, right, and I look at the number of hybrids they used to produce, and I look at the size of the batteries they're sticking in them now, and then I look at the cell production globally, and I look at the percentage of the cell production that goes to Tesla, and how many cars they produce with a similar sized battery, and common sense tells me there's not a catch chance in hell you're going to see, you know, e-Neros and you know, Hyundai Konas coming out of the factories at like 20, 30,000 a year, which is a tiny, tiny number for a car manufacturer.
Sounds a lot,
and I'm talking global here, and they can't get there. There isn't enough cell production on planet Earth at the moment. Now that will change in a year, maybe two, you know, as they start to bring the new factories online. There's clearly a demand for it now. The price is going down. It's all moving in the right direction. But right at this moment, as you say, if you want an EV quickly and you want it new, you're looking at a Leaf or a Zoe. And the reason for that is because nobody wants Nissan Leaf batteries anyway, so they've got a whole factory to themselves somewhere that basically just makes them batteries. And the Zoe, they've been making that for so long, they've got the contracts all tied up, they've basically probably got their own factory for that too.
It's good value. I suppose that's the
Zoe's great.
Zoe is incredible value for its range. So range to cost. That's a purpose. I don't mind that it's small and relatively cheap interior, because I'm not paying a lot for it. But the Leaf, I mean, I used to be an electric Leaf man, and even I would recommend a Leaf 40, and certainly not the E+. Good God, they've screwed that up. It's worse on every measurable scale than the e-Nero and the Kona, and it's more expensive. And it doesn't have thermal battery management still. It's got fans. This is a 60 odd kilowatt hour battery car with fans blowing on it.
When you start loading it up, you get Model 3 for the same money.
Yeah, if you spec up a Techno Leaf, it costs more than a Model 3 standard range. Plus,
Yeah, I would definitely get the Model 3. I kind of feel a bit sorry for Nissan, because I really feel like, you know, they've got right out there right at the beginning and they made a good name for themselves, and then they just kind of thought, well, let's keep making money rather than actually let's push this industry to where it's going and be one of the leaders when it gets there.
they were losing a lot of money. Carlos Ghosn was brought in to save them, created the Renault Alliance, and now they're making money. But look what's happened. Development has stalled. That's probably where there's a big saving there. Sales are up, but ultimately it's because of the alliance with Renault, and they've lost they put all the research money into Propilot to try and combat Tesla's autopilot.
That was there, just look how new our Leaf is.
Yeah.
But actually, it's the same cars, it's the same technology, just jumping
I think it's economics. If you can't afford to develop a new car,
certainly here in Europe, is going to CCS. It's stuck on CHAdeMO, and we're already seeing some of the charge companies, you're starting to wonder, everything is around the CCS charging, and CHAdeMO's not as fast. It's an afterthought, where before it was the only plug to have.
I would just say about the CHAdeMO though, you've got quite a lot of old Nissan Leafs around that use it, and you've also got quite a lot of Teslas, a good number of which have got the CHAdeMO adapter. So,
But then the new ones are going to CCS.
yes, but until there's a CCS adapter, you're going to have, well, I've heard of one coming too. I first heard of it 3 years ago. That's the problem.
But an interesting thing, the new 150 kilowatt Polar BP chargers, 60 on CHAdeMO, 150 on CCS.
The charging numbers are kind of a funny thing, right? Because I charge regularly on CHAdeMO at 40. By the time I've gone 10 miles out of my way to get to a supercharger, I was better off staying on the motorway and going to the CHAdeMO. And so,
And that is everything around EVs. It's about convenience, isn't it? Because we always talk about, oh yeah, well you can charge at home. So you charge overnight, it's fine. You get up in the morning, it's ready to go. But when you're on those journeys, it's exactly what you mean. When you've got a family in the back, you want to go somewhere where there's toilets, there's somewhere to get a coffee, the kids have got somewhere to run around. You don't want to be in a car park in the middle of nowhere at 10 o'clock at night with crying kids.
thank you. What's the timer say at the moment? 18 minutes.
How long have we been here for?
Jeez.
That's the trouble, is once you get talking.
There goes my weekend. And the week.
What do they call it? The Osmo.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
That looks amazing.
Got good
Yes. I've had a bit of a look at some stuff online, and I wouldn't have said it was that much better than the Hero 7 Black. So if you don't have the 7 Black, I'd probably go for the Osmo.
See, I'm still using my 4.
Yeah.
So that for me, I'm thinking right, that replaces that because it just.
Who doesn't love a good camera chat? Like literally in my element. It's not EVs. I came here for the cameras. We just saw the end of a talk which I really wasn't listening to, but it's going to be on YouTube, I'm sure. So that's where I'm going to watch it. The thing I like most about these events is actually bumping into the people that share the same interests as me.
Yeah. Well, there is a community, isn't there? Whether
There's a great EV community, and I really do think that's one of the strong points of EV ownership. Is there is a strong sort of we're all in it together kind of spirit.
Will that be lost, do you think, once they get in the mainstream?
A little bit, maybe not.
I think the clubs will
amongst.
remain. I mean, you only have to look
Yeah.
They still have Tesla clubs and
I'm going to try. That's why I'm just taking a shot of this so I can remember. There we go. EVs in the park. I need to go to that. It was great fun last year. Yeah, we are leaving in just a second, but I've had a really interesting conversation about CCS chargers. Because it turns out that the Ecotricity CCS chargers are basically, for the vast majority of the case, not working at all. Which is really, really disappointing, because there's only usually one per site. And Sophie's interested in CCS cars like the e-tron, like the I-Pace. You've got the e-Niro, the Kona, they're both CCS as well. And yet, the most important charge network out there, as far as I can tell, doesn't really support CCS. Kind of lost for words. Anyway, right, and on that note, I'm going to go and hopefully get all the way home without stopping to charge.
Alright, go in.
I'm just liking the gimbals.
You like the gimbal, do you?
Yeah. This has been an absolutely fantastic day. I've really enjoyed it. Also, I'm kind of hoping that this weekend will sort of be the Kickstarter for getting back into vlogging on a bit more of a regular basis. So, I've kind of been filing the editing under, I'll start it tomorrow. And I wake up the next morning and I think, I'll start the editing tomorrow. And then a week passes and you're like, oh. And what I need to get out of that habit is motivation. And where do I get that motivation from? Hopefully, this great event and all the fun people I've been chatting to. Hopefully you'll see this video in a timely fashion.
Really annoying when somebody's in the background and ruins your video.
I know!
You're right.
I am. I'm good, thank you. Yes.
So I didn't pull any faces, I promise you.
Actually, I kind of hope you did pull faces.
Yeah.
It'll be much more fun and interesting. What's the #1 rule of YouTube? Don't be boring.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Much better to do something totally controversial and interesting.
And then everybody wants to watch it.
Exactly.
And then comment on it.
Well, you know, speaking of which, you know what I watched yesterday?
Go on.
I watched some crazy ass Russian dude with 2.4 million subscribers build a fully automatic crossbow powered by an electric drill.
Why wouldn't you want to watch that?
This thing was bloody brilliant. It was like...
People love that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, it had like, I don't know, millions and millions of views.
Well, we're doing it all wrong, let's be honest.
Clearly, I'm going home to sort of get my woodworking kit out and get working on the crossbow.
Getting something new. Right, my lift is here, so good
Right,
to see you.
cheers.
All the best, mate. See you again.
Wow, it's a bit on the toasty side in here. I forgot to pre-cool the car. That was an awesome day. And look what somebody put on my car. It's a thank you from thank you for choosing an electric vehicle. You've helped children like myself to breathe easier and avoid long-term illnesses such as stunted lung development, brain illnesses, cancer. Thank you from Charlotte, age 12. Well, that's brilliant. And now it is that time where I say goodbye. I hope you've enjoyed today's vlog post. If you have, remember to like it, share it, subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you don't already. And I will see you in the next episode of my vlog. Bye. And now we're going to get coffee. How can you drive an EV and not like coffee?
Sorry.
You should be half EV, man. I don't know anyone that drives an EV that doesn't
You
like
have
coffee.
to, because every time you stop, you have to drink.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah.